Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome back into Movement Parallels Life. I'm Kellen Mylad, and I'm excited you're here because this is an extra special practice today. We're celebrating the channel hitting 100,000 subscribers. Whether you just recently found the channel or you're one of my longtime movement weirdos, I want to start off with a big heartfelt thank you. I deeply appreciate all the support, allowing me to share this movement goodness that I love so much, and I hope that we can keep moving and growing together for years to come. I'm going to share a little bit more at the end, but for right now, let's jump into the practice. This first 5 minutes is going to be a mobility warm-up to give you the chance to check in with your body. I'll guide you through these simple joint mobilizations, but if you're ready to go, you can skip ahead to the workout. It starts at the 5-minute mark. So here we go. As you work these full range arm circles, make sure to keep your core stable and breathe through the movement. Next, hold your arms out to the sides, palms facing up, shoulders dropped. We've got alternating shoulder twists. With an exhale, internally rotate your shoulder and flip your palm all the way over. Hold the end of each twist for a moment, wringing your arms out like a wet towel, then untwist and repeat on the other side. Next, clasp your hands together and roll your wrists. Now transition onto your hands and knees, and we'll continue to warm up our hands and wrists. Set up a strong, stable position through your core and shoulders. Plant your hands, spread your fingers, and keep your arms locked out. Begin rocking back and forth. With every rock forward, exhale and press your fingertips into the floor. Next, bring the insides of your wrists close together and rock from side to side. Turn your hands to again face forward and perform a set of palm lifts. Press your knuckles down into the floor while you lift and lower your palms for a dynamic stretch. Next, turn the insides of your wrists to face forward, press your palms to the floor, keep your arms straight as you sit back for a forearm stretch. Then allow your palms to lift and elbows to bend down towards your thighs for an open palm stretch. Reset your knee hand position and begin flowing through some simple spinal flexion and extension. Exhale as you push the ground away and round your spine, gently rocking back and forth a few times. Inhale, take your gaze to the ceiling and arch your spine, gently rock back and forth a few times. As you repeat these movements, listen to your body and work within your current range of motion. Stabilize yourself and place one hand behind your head to perform a set of thoracic rotations. Keep your support arm locked out and pushing the ground away as you use the strength of your back to open into the stretch. Go ahead and switch sides on your thoracic rotations. One more time, plant your hands and reset your positions. We'll finish this mobility warm-up with a set of hip circles. Keep your arms locked out and your core braced as you step your hip through a full range of motion. And switch sides. All right, we're limber, we're loose, we're just about ready to get into our first of 2 primary movement series. The series is made up of 5 movements and will go through for 3 rounds. The first round is the practice round. We'll work with 60-second intervals. In rounds 2 and 3, we'll flow through with 30-second intervals. We're starting off with supine hip bridges, so transition onto your back with the soles of your feet flat on the ground. Press your hips up to the ceiling and let's begin. Start off by holding the bridge for a few moments and making sure to level your pelvis. Isometrically pull your heels back towards your hips to feel the engagement of your glutes and hamstrings. Begin lifting and lowering your hips, making sure that your lower back touches the ground with each rep. Now hold your next bridge and begin to perform an alternating march. Draw one thigh in towards your chest while you keep the glute of your support leg braced strong to keep your hip in full extension. Hold your next single leg bridge and begin to pulse up and down. Switch sides on your single leg bridge pulse. That's time. Lower your hips to the floor and pull your knees in towards your chest, coming into a supine tuck position. Keep your spine rounded with your head and shoulders lifted off the floor. Hold the position with the strength of your core. Now maintain this strong core connection while you extend your legs. Your lower back should remain in contact with the floor. Try holding this hollow body position with your arms at your sides or in the overhead position. Come back to the tuck and we'll transition into the supine cross crawl pattern. Fully extend one leg while you twist and make a connection between your elbow and opposite knee. Seal that connection for a moment with a strong squeeze and alternate from side to side. Move at a steady pace and continue cross-crawling for the next 20 seconds. That's time. Rock up and transition into a side sit position. Next up, we've got hip switches. Start off by taking a few moments to organize the position. Maintain a long spine, keep your shoulders back, and hinge forward from the hips to create the stretch. If necessary, bolster your hips with blocks or a blanket. Begin moving through some of these hip swivels, keeping your feet in contact with the ground and taking your knees from side to side. If you haven't done so yet, take a few moments to check in with your side sit on the opposite hip. We've got about 25 seconds left in the interval. Start moving through a swinging hip switch. Maintain strong posture as you lift your back leg and swing it forward. Switch your figure 4 leg position and then wrap your straight leg back to complete the switch. Give yourself as much support and assistance from your hands as needed to make the movement smooth. Next, make your way into a foot-hand crawl position and we'll work rollover transitions. Keep your knees hovering low to the ground, spine long, and arms locked out, actively pressing into the floor. Extend one leg straight back, sweep it across your body to drive the rollover to the inverted crawl position. Reverse the roll by reaching your arm across your body to return to the foot-hand crawl position, then switch sides. Focus on creating a smooth, controlled movement. Keep working with the rollover for the next 30 seconds. Now transition into a plank position. For the 5th and final movement in this first series, we'll be walking up and down between a high and low plank. Set up a strong push-up plank with legs and glutes braced, pelvis tucked, and shoulder blades protracted. Maintain this tension and stability as you walk down to a forearm plank. Lift one arm and place your hand where your elbow was to press back up to your high plank. Continue on, changing levels with strength and control, walking up and down for the next 35 seconds. All right, that's time. Take a few moments to rest and transition back to your supine bridge position. We're going to flow right into rounds 2 and 3 back to back with 30-second intervals. Let's go. Bridge your hips and march for the next 30 seconds. Lower your hips and flow right into the supine cross crawl. Rock up and into side sit hip switches. Now we're on to alternating crawl rollovers. Set up your plank and walk up and down. On to round 3, make your way back to the supine hip bridge march. Lower your hips and transition back to the cross crawl. Rock up and into side sit hip switches. On to alternating crawl rollovers. And finish the series strong with high-low planks. All right, that's time. Great work. Take 30 seconds to rest before we move on to the next series. Make this an active rest period, working with any movements or stretches that feel good for your body. We'll approach this second series the same way as the first. 60-second intervals for the first round to practice, 30-second intervals for round 2 and 3 to build a flow. Get set up in a kneeling position. Our first movement is going to be a combination kneeling get up to alternating lunge. Get set, and let's go. From kneeling, tuck your toes, rock back and forth a few times, and catch yourself in a deep knee bend. Find some strength and stability here on the balls of your feet, then rise up to standing. Step forward into a lunge, step back, switch sides. Step back, lower back down into your toe squat, deep knee bend. Lean back and gently bring your knees back down to the floor, returning to your kneeling position. Move mindfully through this sequence. Take your time to dial it in. Keep practicing for the next 30 seconds. Finish your last lunges, and then we'll transition into our next combination movement, body weight squats and lateral creeping. Set up on one side of your mat and perform a few body weight squats. Hold the bottom position, then plant your hands off to the side, lean and push into the ground as you shuffle or slide over to the other side of your mat. Perform 1 to 3 squats before you creep over to the other side and repeat. Work your squats through a full range of motion and focus on making your creeping light and smooth. Keep it going for the next 30 seconds. Let's meet it standing, and for our next pattern, we've got alternating cross-back squats. Starting in the middle of your mat, step one leg back and across your midline. Lower down into a squat so that your back knee touches the outside of your front calf. Alternate from side to side, working within your pain-free range of motion and coordinating your breathing with your movement. Keep working your cross-back squats for 20 more seconds. Next, we're transitioning into foot hand and inverted crawling. Make your way down to the floor and into a foot hand crawl, keeping your knees low to the ground, arms locked out, and stepping with your opposite hand and foot in unison. When you run out of space, flip over and head back with an inverted crawl. Once again, keep your arms locked out and take opposite hand-foot steps. Continue crawling around your available space for the next 35 seconds. Focus on taking long, smooth strides, and don't forget to breathe. Make your way back to the center of your mat, and we'll move on to our final movement in the series, rotational rocking and figure 4 rock-ups. From a compact tuck position, create some momentum and rock up to a figure 4 half-kneeling base. Alternate from side to side, and as you're rocking up, support the movement by planting your hand and pushing off the ground. For some additional core work, integrate rotational rocking. Maintain that compact tuck position with a round spine and a strong core connection. As you rock back onto your shoulders, swivel your hips and squeeze your obliques to drive the rotation. Keep working the rocking and rock-ups for 15 more seconds. That's time. Our practice round is complete. Take a few moments to rest and reset before we move on to flow through rounds 2 and 3. We've set a good baseline for the movements. Now moving forward, I want to encourage you to expand on them and play. Here we go, kneeling get-ups and alternating lunges. Now move on to squats and lateral creeping. Rise up to standing and make your way into alternating cross-back squats. Lower down and make your way into crawling. Long, soft strides and deep breathing. Come back to center and transition into rotational rocking and figure 4 rock-ups. Rock up and make your way back to your kneeling position. On to round 3, kneeling get-ups and alternating lunges. Make your transition back to squats and lateral creeping. And now we're back to alternating cross-back squats. Just 2 intervals left, 60 seconds of work. Make your way back to foot, hand, and inverted crawling. You got this. Come back to center and finish strong with rotational rocking and figure 4 rock ups. That's time, and Series 2 is complete. Excellent work. Now, to give our bodies the chance to gradually return to baseline, we'll go through one more series to flow and stretch to complete today's practice. Start from kneeling and step forward with one leg into a half kneeling stretch. We'll hang out here for about 30 seconds, glide back and forth, move in circles, explore any movements that give you the stretch that feel best for your body. Now switch sides on your half kneeling stretch. Step back and once again switch sides. Next, we'll transition into a split stance hip hinge stretch. If necessary, use blocks or a chair for additional support. Step forward and switch your legs. Continue on with your split hinge stretch. Now rotate your body and widen your stance as we transition next into lateral squat shifting. As you're starting out here, you might hinge your torso forward and keep your hands in contact with the ground. If desired, use blocks for additional support. Let's go back through for one more round. Make your way back to your half kneeling stretch. Switch sides and continue with the half kneeling stretch. Switch sides and set up your split stance hinge stretch. Step forward and switch sides on your split stance hinge. Lastly, rotate open and widen your stance. Finish the series with squat lateral shifting. That's time, and our practice today is just about complete. Finish up with any other movements or stretches that feel right for you. So we went a little bit longer today. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and this has been my way to say thank you for all your support and helping me grow the channel to over 100,000 subscribers. When I first started making these videos, it was just a creative outlet and a way to share these movements that have had such a positive impact on my life. I had no idea that I'd be able to reach people around the world and create programs and classes that help people play and rediscover the joy in movement and create a more holistic approach to their fitness. So it's been an awesome journey thus far. I'm happy to celebrate this milestone, and the only thing left to do is to just keep on flowing. So thank you again. Hit that like button. Check out the links below. You know the deal. Come back again soon, and I'll see you in the next practice.